Hey guys, I just want to start this video by apologizing for the terrible quality of this video because I am using the webcam on my laptop and apparently it's pretty terrible. So I apologize. Anyway, this is a really exciting blog to be doing today. I was asked by GoFundMe's PR company to participate in some media interviews for them. So the local NBC affiliate here reached out to me and had me come in today to be on their midday news. So that was really exciting. I've never been on TV before, so it was an interesting opportunity to have. I was, needless to say, very nervous, and they made me wait until 11:45 and sit there and watch the set for 45 minutes beforehand. So plenty of time to get nervous, but I think it went well. I posted the video link down below this in this very same blog post, so you'll be able to watch that if you haven't already. Basically, they just kind of asked about why I was going to Korea and what the process is and what kind of issues you run into. Unfortunately, they didn't really mention GoFundMe, which hopefully GoFundMe doesn't get upset about that, but I guess they didn't ask me about it and I didn't really have time to interject about it. So, it is what it is. So any of you that have ever done an interview like that know that it's kind of on a time crunch and you don't have a ton of time to, you know, hem and haw around and try and find words to say. You kind of have to get to the point. So overall, I think it went really well. And I'm really hoping that, like I said before, I really hope that by doing these kind of things, if I can reach out to one adoptee out there that is struggling or doesn't have any idea that there's any help out there, then this will help them maybe start their search or start trying to find other adoptees to connect with. So that's my goal. It's obviously cool to be able to experience that, but I'm trying to look at it as how can I use this opportunity to help other people, because that's, we're all in this together and we're all here to help each other. So I'm just trying to do my part, and it was a really, really neat experience at the same time. So it was weird being on that side of the interview because for work, I'm always interviewing people myself. It's obviously much different because I do most of my interviews over the phone or on my own phone. So it's not like I would, am used to all the production that goes into that sort of thing. But it was pretty cool to be on the other side of it for once. And I am glad that I've had experience doing the interviewing because for whatever reason, I feel like it helped me speak more professionally and that sort of thing. So hopefully it came across the right way. That's my hope. So that's kind of the latest update. I haven't really had anybody else that has reached out as far as doing any media opportunities, and I'm kind of debating on what to do next because I feel like right now I kind of have some momentum and I kind of want to use that to I don't want to say my advantage. Again, I don't want any of this to come across as self-serving, but I'm going to use these words just because it's easier. So, I'm trying to think of ways to capitalize on any and all publicity that this is getting because it's been so overwhelming. I just can't even believe that any of this is happening because this was all started from a little GoFundMe account that, has done surprisingly well for me. And it's very humbling and it's difficult to kind of take in everything, all of the support and the help that I've had. And again, I can't thank everybody enough for any support that has been given, whether it's emotional, monetary, anything like that. Like, it's amazing. So, yeah, I'm trying to see, I'm kind of trying to think through what I can do. I mean, being kind of media centric with my career, I'm always thinking of what to do and how can I help and how can I get exposure to different stories that I'm working on. Well, that part of my brain has kind of kicked in now, and I'm just like, okay, well, what else can I do? I mean, can I write a story like a memoir or a blog or something and try and send it to a publication, or can I send my video of my interview to any other news outlets or anything like that? And once again, this whole self-serving thing is very difficult for me because I am not used to being the center of attention for anything. I'm used to being behind the scenes and I'm used to making other people the center of attention, which brings me a lot of joy. So for me to be kind of the focus of it, it's different. It's weird. I don't know. It's just, again, this morning I was going through my head as I was driving to the studio. I was like, there's going to be like 2 people that watch this. Like, people that are home and happen to have this channel on, and they're going to see, and it's going to be like 2 minutes long and nobody's going to care. And these are the things that go through my head. So it's very hard for me to uh, accept that people are interested in the story. I try very hard not to be a selfish, self-centered person, and so having this kind of attention on me is just, it's weird and it's a little uncomfortable. But I'm trying very hard to embrace it as much as I can, and understand that this is not just for me. It is helping me, but it's something that I can use to help somebody else. So, hopefully the story today reached some people, and maybe there was a person out there that was watching that was like, man, I'm adopted and I never knew that other people were going through the same type of emotions or the same process. So, that's kind of my goal, because if I would have seen something like this 2 years ago, I think that it would have helped, because like I said, it's just, you feel very, until you find that support system that is out there, you feel very alone and you feel very isolated. I don't know. One of my good friends texted me just a while ago, and she said that it's always surprising how many emotions can be under the surface of your close friends, and you would never know. And that's honestly, that's me, because I'm not the type of person that likes to talk about myself. I'm not the type of person that likes to be sad or a Debbie Downer or anything like that. But I will be honest with you, I'm a freaking mess. Okay, so I am a very outwardly happy person. I'm a very somewhat outgoing person, if I want to be, and I enjoy putting the attention on other people, and I don't like the focus to be on me. So, um, it's something that I think a lot of adoptees struggle with, and I know from observing a lot of the adoptee groups that I'm in and what people have posted. I kind of get the sense that we're all kind of like that. We all kind of don't want to put our problems out there. We don't want to become known as that girl that cries, because that's me. And you know, I don't know. It's just, if I would have known that this sort of thing existed 2 years ago, I think that, this is what started me on this whole journey. And so I really want these adoptees to have that voice, and to know that they're not the only people. I think we all have these emotional undercurrents in common. I think that without a doubt, for whatever reason, there is some sort of psychological issue. I don't want to say issue, because it's not like we're bad, messed up people, but there's something that happens to your emotional being whenever you go through something that is basically a traumatic experience when you're a baby or a young child. um, Daniel and I just went to see that new Pixar movie Inside Out last week, and it was a really good movie. It was not quite as adult friendly, I don't think, as some of the other Disney movies that have been put out, but for one, it was a really great way to, if you have kids, absolutely take them to see that movie, because it's a really good way to explain emotions and how your brain works to a little kid. It's great. That part aside, I think that, one of the things they talk about in the movie is core memories. And even as a baby, when the main character was a baby, she was creating core memories that would stick with her for her entire life, and that was a building block that helped her become who she was as a young adult. So that really got me thinking. I was like, being adopted, and even though I was only 3 months old, so obviously I have no cognitive memories of that time period, there's still something that kind of gets put inside you whenever that happens. And I think that a big thing that a lot of adoptees experience is abandonment issues, and a lot of self-consciousness. I think those are probably two of the biggest things that I personally have experienced. And in getting to know other adoptees, it's something that I think is a very common theme. So, it's manifested itself in my relationships. Um, and there's that question of self-worth, and you just don't feel like, you don't feel like you're really good enough. You don't feel like you deserve anything good that happens to you, because, at least for me, I've kind of delved into it within myself, and I've kind of figured out that it's like a subconscious thing. It's like, well, my mother didn't want me for whatever reason. So why would somebody else? I don't know. It's really difficult to explain. Um, if you ever meet an adoptee that, you know they probably wouldn't tell you that there's any sort of emotional issue that is beneath the surface, but please trust me when I say that there are a lot of emotional damages, I guess, that have been done to all of us. And it's not anything that we wished that would happen. It's not anything that we're not all trying to fix. But there's a lot of psychological issues that come with being adopted. And that goes for anybody. I'm not just talking about Korean adoptees. If you are an adopted person from Alabama, like, you're probably going to have the same issues. So, this is not limited to people that are just Korean adoptees. Think of it this way. I mean, I always use the examples of dogs for whatever reason. I guess it's because I have dogs. I used to have a rescue dog that I fostered, and he came from a very bad place. I don't know exactly what happened, but he was extremely skittish. And that never really went away. And the same thing with our bulldog that we have now. She was abused with the family that had her before us, and she's extremely scared of if you have an object in your hand. She's very scared of it. So, I mean, that kind of thing just doesn't go away. And that goes back to that core memory that I was talking about from that movie. And there's certain wounds that have been kind of inflicted on all of us that you kind of have to do what you will with them. I mean, some people kind of succumb to them and become very, depressed or alienated. I don't know. And I definitely have done that myself. So it's, I'm not saying that I have risen above any of this stuff because I'm sitting here talking about it with a straight face. But, a lot of my close friends, especially Daniel, who unfortunately has to witness all of this stuff, they know that there's a lot more that goes into it. So I'm rambling again, but, my point is that there's a lot of things that all of us who are adopted have in common. And again, my whole hope with this project, I guess I'll call it, is that I can reach other people that are unaware that other people, because literally before I did this, I had no idea. I mean, I knew other people were adopted. I'm not stupid, but I literally had no idea that there were other people who had the same kind of emotional issues. I just thought I was weird. Like, that's just me. So it's not just me. We're all weird, and that's okay. So, that's kind of my ending thought for this blog is that, that no matter who you are, no matter what your situation is, there is always somebody that can relate and empathize. And that is one of the most important things you can find when you're going through something that's difficult. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my interview. I will continue to post updates, and hopefully we'll have a new webcam soon because this one is terrible. And I will catch you guys later. Thanks.